Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. Central Time for you folks who live out of the state of Alabama, and which is always a pleasure to be with you. You can find us on the radio at iacradio.media, where we are now a Fox News affiliate. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast, which is found on the podcasters. We are so glad to be with them. It's absolutely fantastic. And so I'm with a good friend of mine right now who does a lot of wonderful things for our communities. Also right there in Jackson County, and her name is Mary Kay Carlton. Hey, Mary Kay, how are you doing?
Good.
It's always so good to be with you. And thank you for all you do for Scottsboro and the surrounding area.
Well, thank you. That was the way I was brought up. And I just enjoy getting to know the people and working with volunteers and trying to help our community.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it's all about. Volunteers, I'm going to tell you what, and I've mentioned this several times, Mary Kay. If you are new, because Jackson County is growing and some folks are coming into the area, you're brand new, you don't know anybody in Jackson County, why not volunteer? You're going to meet the cream of the crop when you volunteer.
Right. You know, when we first started Nourish One Child, I'm going to talk about something relevant to that in a little bit. But when we first started Nourish One Child, we had about 10 or 12 volunteers to help pack. And now we have 35 to 40 each week.
That's awesome. And to have that, people who have a heart for the kids. So let's just talk about the charity itself. What's it all about?
Well, Nourish One Child is a nonprofit. We became a nonprofit about 4 years ago. One, so we could write grants. And that has been a real asset to the program because the number of children needing this never really went down after COVID. We're at 404 children that we pack bags of food for each weekend. We pack on Wednesday afternoons usually, but we're real flexible with that. If we have a group that want to pack, you know, we can work around a time. And we send home items in all the 4 food groups, the dairy, fruit, grain, and protein. And we send home 12 items. And we know it's not enough for the whole weekend, but it will help. And we, you know, have the teachers determine who needs to get these bags. They just give us a number. We don't know who the children are. And then we pack them. And then we have volunteers that take suitcases with the bags loaded in them. We have one school that has like 14 suitcases, another one that has 13. So, and our suitcases wear out really in about a year. So we're going to have to go buy some more suitcases here. But it's, as I say, it's been in existence about 13 years. But we are at 404 was the closing number. And we do have 2 churches that sponsor the months of June and July. One does June and one does July. And so that those children most in need, they go to the summer school in June, RecCom, Boys and Girls Club, and the Housing Authority. And then summer school's not in July, but they go to the RecCom, the Housing Authority, and the Boys and Girls Club.
You know, sometimes, you know, because of COVID and a few other things, we're in a bad economy right now. And sometimes folks just have a hard time making ends meet.
Well, they do. And the price of food, I don't think people realize, and I didn't, you know, because you go and you buy what, you know, hopefully you can buy what you need to feed your family. But we had the price of food from May of 23 to August of 23. The food that we purchased for these 400 and some bags went up from 3,000 to 4,000.
You know, and that's kind of tough. And then when folks are, you know, you have to do what you have to do. And just to make ends meet, sometimes you buy food that's not that nutritious.
Right. So that's one of the reasons that we're in partnership with the hospital to do this upcoming fundraiser, because we've had a grant for 2 years, it was COVID recovery money, but that runs out the end of October. And so we're going to, have to replace this money next year, particularly. And so that's we're partnering with the hospital, Highlands Hospital, to do the dragon boat races. I lived in Decatur for 38 years, and their hospital had dragon boat races, and I went once or twice, and then the last 2 years have gone, and it seemed like maybe something that we don't have here in Jackson County, and it would be a way of team building and raising money for needed items. The hospital is needing some items for their in their x-ray department and specific things, and then we just need the funds to be able to buy the food.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the race. It sounds like a fun event.
Well, I think it's going to be, having seen them, and so far I think we have 18 teams, and a team consists of 22 people with one steerer, and that is furnished by the company that we contract with to bring the boats. You don't have to have your own boat. We pay a certain amount of money to get the boats, and they furnish the steerer. And then there is a drummer who sits up front, and then there are 20 actually paddlers, and they paddle the boat to the finish line. And you must have at least 8 women in your boat. That's the requirement. And but if somebody is doing a boat and doesn't have the 8 women, we've got some women who want to do it, but they're not hooked up with a company or a church or someone that's doing it. So we've got some women that will be glad to help out. And but each team races twice, and the top 50% of those teams, their times, the top 50% go on to the finals. And usually we give a lunch break in between the races in the morning, and then kind of a lunch break, and then the finals will be in the afternoon. And there are awards, we'll have several categories, and there'll be awards in each of those. And then we're going to give some paddles. It's kind of fun things like who was the best dressed drummer, and who was the slowest. Which boat was the slowest? They get an award. Just different items, that aren't necessarily tied to the racing aspect. The best T-shirt. Each team designs their own T-shirt, and my church already has their T-shirt designed, and but each T-shirt, each team designs their own T-shirt. We have all the volunteers that help that day. We have a T-shirt that has been designed, and they'll all get one of those. And it's just going to be a fun event. Opening ceremonies are going to start at 8:30. This is August 10th, which is a Saturday, over at Goose Pond. We're sort of taking over Goose Pond Marina and the parking areas, and where we were out mapping out where everything's going to go the other day, and it's going to be fun.
Are you still looking for teams?
Yes, that's really why I wanted to do this. We really, really do need more teams and sponsors. Now, we don't have a presenting sponsor at this time. That's $10,000, and I know that's a lot of money, but you get 3 boats in the race.
Oh, you get a lot of attention there.
Yeah, and you get to come to the VIP tent where you get breakfast and lunch and all sorts of treats. But so the presenting sponsor gets a lot of benefits.
Absolutely. And with taxes the way they are, it's going to be a huge benefit when you get your taxes done.
Right, and it is all tax deductible. The donation is tax deductible. Then we have already several $5,000 sponsor. We also have a level of 7,500, and they get quite a few benefits also. And then each, as I say, it comes down to you don't have to be a sponsor. You can be a boat. Rent a boat, essentially, race a boat. That's 1,500. But what I found in going to the one in Decatur, there was a team there from Decatur High School, and they were the seniors in that class. And on their T-shirts, they had 10 sponsor logos on the back, which meant they got 10 different people and/or a company or a restaurant or something to sponsor them. So they didn't have $1,500 to put up, but they went out and found the $1,500.
Oh, there you go. You can do that. Now, this could be businesses. How about families in memory of someone?
Oh, sure. A family. And the people in the boat don't have to be. The team that won and has won the last 3 years is a State Farm insurance agency in Decatur. Well, I know all those people don't work for that agency.
Right.
So, they go out and recruit. I call them some good rowers.
Yeah. There you go. It's my good too.
Yeah, but this high school team I mentioned, they came in second out of the team from the State Farm Agency was first. And the team that was seniors in high school, here again, remember, they have to have 8 girls. They came in second. These were out of 48 teams that competed.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of businesses out there who are looking for employees, and you want to get your name out. Why not do it that way? I mean, you're looking for employees, because I'm going to tell you, people like to work for a company who gives to the community.
Well, it's excuse me, I have had a bronchitis type thing.
All of us.
It does. It gets your name out, and everybody who's done it has told us that it is a team building effort within your. We have 3 churches so far, and the people will come out to watch. There's no charge. There is, I think plenty of parking. Back to that presenting sponsor, 10,000. They get VIP parking. Mm-hmm. So, they're all, like I said, there's some good advantages, but we just really want to encourage, companies and churches and high school, Jackson County schools is having a team, and they're so excited.
That's awesome. I can't think of a better way to end your senior year. Just so that you're a part of something that's big like that for the community. Right. Mary Kay, we're going to have to go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Everybody hang in there.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319 and let's think of the possibilities. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant.
We're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. We're speaking truth right here. Mary Kay Carlton is with us, and I'm going to have to tell you, you do a phenomenal job on educating folks in the community about why children need food. I mean, think about this. Okay, so a child hasn't eaten, and their weekend actually begins on Friday. Am I correct? Friday night.
That's correct. Sometimes Thursday, depending if it's a, virtual day. I think our school system had one virtual day each month but it varies now. But yes, it starts on Friday and then they come to school on Monday. And if they haven't had enough to eat, they usually come not ready to learn. Mm-hmm. And we've also learned that through studies that have been done and talking to principals and guidance counselors, that children that act out, maybe that's the word, misbehave, we would have called it. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes they're hungry. So mm-hmm. Some of our schools have started having snacks also in the office when a child is sent, to the counselor or to the principal. And they, kind of try to get them relaxed a little bit before they talk to them, get them something in their stomach. So it has all kinds of effects on children. I know when I'm hungry, I'm hangry.
Me too.
I I really am. I have a towel that my daughter-in-law gave me, that says that.
I can see that, but we have to think about the kinds of foods. What kinds of foods do you suggest children have to be a growing child so they can learn?
Well, back to those 4 food groups, they need dairy, and we have discovered, all our food has to be shelf stable. So we have learned that the children don't like shelf stable white milk, so it's chocolate milk that we send, but dairy and then fruit, and it can be fresh, and we try sometimes to send fresh fruit that won't get old quickly. Mm-hmm. And then we send grain, and that can be cereal, granola bars, different types of grain. They're not real high in the sugar, but children have to have a little bit of treats and things. So, and then grains, and then we send proteins. Most of our proteins, we always send macaroni and cheese. That can be microwaved, and then they love Chef Boyardee. And so we send those. They also like Slim Jims, so we send those, so we send at least 2 proteins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're a nutritionist, so
Right. My background is in nutrition, and but we get feedback from the teachers about what gets thrown in the trash can. So after 13 years, we've sort of narrowed it down a little bit.
Now, teachers can tell a difference in the children when they've had food.
Yes, they can. And I know parents would have to agree. And, with children being as busy as they are, sometimes it's hard to, get a good supper ready. But, giving a nutritious snack is helpful. And as I say, this won't feed them for the whole weekend, but it helps. Each bag costs about $10.
Mm-hmm. Now, can people volunteer with food?
I'm sorry?
Can people volunteer by going to the grocery store and buying what you need?
Sure. And if they have any of those items, they can go to Nourish One Child's Facebook page and send us a message. Have a volunteer who now maintains our Facebook page. They can go in Facebook to Messenger and send Mary Kay Carlton a message. We have groups that oftentimes collect items. The funniest story we have from COVID, and everybody always laughs at this, we packed 3 times a week, and we're putting 17 items in each bag. One Saturday, we were going to be short for Monday's packing about 180 macaroni and cheese, and I put it out on Facebook. By that afternoon, we had 800 some macaroni and cheese. So we had volunteers stationed up where we pack and collected all that macaroni. Of course, we used it that week. I mean,
it didn't go to waste. I'm sure.
It did not go to waste, but we do not use peanut butter. Our program does not use peanut butter. Now, that is something the school system has asked us not to do. Many of the other backpack programs in the county do. So they need to check with the program in their particular city. I will tell you, we are getting ready for the Food for Thought campaign, which is all the backpack programs throughout Jackson County come together once a year and send out a letter. And also First Southern State Bank and Foodland will take donations or roundups at Foodland during the month of July. So be sure and try to support that. But that gets split amongst all the backpack programs in Jackson County, and all 15 schools plus the 5 here in Scottsboro.
Are some foods more filling than others?
Yes, they are. There's certain ones that need it worse than others. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I was raised on beans and potatoes, and
I'm sorry.
I was raised on beans and potatoes, and I just have to tell you, that's pretty filling food with a slice of cornbread and maybe tomatoes and stuff like that. So that is pretty filling food.
Right. Well, I grew up on a dairy farm, so we had plenty of meat.
Yeah.
And we had some cattle that we raised, for eating. Most of ours, with the dairy, we, had, I don't know, we milked 120 cows in a milking parlor. It was what it was called. But we, had a huge garden. And I wish I could have a garden, but I really enjoy going to the farmers markets throughout the county.
Absolutely. Mary Kay, you'd be proud of me. I've learned how to make cheese. I have a local farmer, and so, of course, I buy my meat and everything from him, too, because it's grass-fed, so it's good for you stuff.
Yeah.
And no hormones and all that.
Right.
And so he said, see if you can make some cheese. And so he just gave me a couple of gallons, said, go for it. And he says, try it on your show. It's on one of my shows. This was like 2 years ago. This is during COVID. And so you can make cheese. I mean, I've got the cheese press and the whole works. There are all kinds of things that we can do. Let's talk a little bit more because we have less than 2 minutes left in this segment. A little bit more about the event. Let's go ahead and do a repeat on that.
Right. Well, we have a really neat logo. I suggest people go to our Facebook. Yeah. I suggest people go to our Facebook page. Dawn Pettigill, who's president of the board of Highlands Hospital, she maintains the Facebook page, and you can always ask questions, and we'll get back to you. And I've met with my Facebook person, and she's going to start trying to post updates that go on the Facebook page on the Nourish One Child, because we have quite a few followers. And But we really encourage you, just if you have a question. Last week she asked for questions that people had about, the dragon boats and how they race and, the different things. But as we say, we need teams and we need sponsors. And it would help me sleep better. I've been waking up at 5:30 in the morning thinking about things.
Girl, I want you to get some sleep, girl.
I know.
I found out about you, and you and I have known each other for years. And so, but we have a mutual friend, and that's Tommy Haynes.
Right.
And so Tommy said, and he was in office at that time, and Tommy said, I want you to meet one of the most wonderful women I have ever met. And I said, who is that? And he said,
Thank you. I had, as I say, it was the way I was brought up, was to serve the community. My grandmother didn't drive, but she made more cakes for yard sale or not bake sales. And, she could get on the phone. Of course, then it was a party line, and she used to take up the party line a lot, calling people who were sick. So everyone was a slogan when I was director of the volunteer center in Decatur for 25. My husband laughs when I say in a half year. Everybody can do something because everybody can serve in some way. And you just have to think about what the needs are. And even though if you're, at home and can't get out, there are a lot of things. Our church kind of, brought it to the attention of some people. And we started a card ministry and just sending cards out once a week. And to people, not necessarily members of our church, but people we know about who might just need someone that's thinking about them or, is sick or has lost a loved one. So that could be something somebody does from their own home.
Just pick up the phone and call people, send cards and those kinds of things. Your grandmother sounds a lot like mine. Both my grandmothers were the types that when something happened in the community, someone passed away or, someone's in the hospital or whatever, they were the ones who would always get the crowd together. And my grandmother would say, well, Susan's going to make the potato salad. And then she would just go all the way around the whole community. And so it's just a friendly thing. And again, if you are new, a lot of new folks coming into Scottsboro, some wonderful businesses you guys have out there, and you're growing like crazy. So if you're new to the community, this is a great way to get to know the right people, the people who care about their community. And that's huge. Okay, Mary Kay, we're going to have to go. So how can folks get in contact with you again?
Yes, they can go to our Facebook page and just, say, I'd like more information. They can send a message. They can, call. I'm at Impact Learning Center today. Kathy is on our board.
Thanks, Kathy. Kathy Mitchell made this whole thing happen.
Right. My computer at home doesn't do too well with Zoom. Hopefully, we're getting new fiber optic out there. So that should help. But they could call over here to Impact, and Kathy can put them in touch.
And everybody's got my phone number. So if you want to get in contact with them, just call me and I'll get in contact with Mary Kay.
Right. Call Donna. And like I say, there's so many people that, if you ask around, they'll probably can tell you. I hesitate to give my phone number out on air because in the past I've had some crank calls. So
I still get them about not paying my college debt. And I will say, look, I'm 65. If I've not paid by now, I'm never going to pay it. So
right.
Let's go.
Right. And my favorite one is they call about, my health insurance, life insurance, car insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. Mary Kay, thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
Thank you. I always enjoy it.
And thanks to Kathy Mitchell for making this whole thing happen too.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, we're going to go for now. Thank you guys so much for watching Donna's Edge. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. That's all over the country. And then you can also find us syndicated there. And you can also find the podcast on thenewscasters.com. And don't forget, with Fox News affiliates, where you can find us on icradio.media. Thank you so much for watching.